Africa is home to some of the world's most unique and endangered animals. This vast and ancient continent, a cradle of life itself, holds a breathtaking diversity of creatures, each one a masterpiece of evolution, perfectly adapted to its environment. From the sweeping savannas, to the dense, steamy jungles, and the arid, unforgiving deserts, life has found a way to flourish in the most extraordinary forms. But this rich tapestry of life is now under unprecedented threat. The very survival of many of these iconic species hangs precariously in the balance, their future uncertain in a world that is rapidly changing around them. The relentless pressures of human activity, habitat loss, climate change, and the devastating impact of illegal poaching have pushed many of these magnificent creatures to the very brink of extinction. Conservation is no longer just an admirable pursuit, it has become an urgent, desperate necessity. It is our collective responsibility to understand the fragility of these ecosystems and the profound importance of every single species within them. Without dedicated and immediate action, the silence that follows the loss of a species will be a permanent stain on our planet's history, a chapter of our own making that we will forever regret. In this journey, we will count down 10 of Africa's rarest and most endangered animals. Each one represents a unique story of survival against overwhelming odds, a testament to the resilience of nature and a stark reminder of what we stand to lose. As we explore their lives, their struggles, and the glimmers of hope that dedicated conservationists provide, let us reflect on our role in their fate. This is not just a list, it is a roll call of the vulnerable, a plea for awareness, and a call to action before these irreplaceable treasures vanish from our world forever. Our countdown begins with a story of profound loss and a desperate last-ditch effort to defy extinction. Here we have the northern white rhinoceros. This is not merely an endangered species, it is a ghost, a functional relic of a bygone era. Once roaming across the grasslands of Central Africa, their numbers were decimated by relentless poaching, driven by an insatiable demand for their horns. Today, only 2 individuals remain on the entire planet, a mother and her daughter, Najin and Fatu. They live under constant 24-hour armed guard at the Olpejeta Conservancy in Kenya, living symbols of our failure to protect them in the wild. The last male, Sudan, passed away in 2018, and with him went any hope of natural reproduction for this subspecies. The silence he left behind is deafening. Now, the fate of the northern white rhino rests entirely in the hands of science. Researchers are working tirelessly on advanced reproductive techniques, using frozen genetic material and surrogate southern white rhino mothers in a groundbreaking attempt to bring them back from the abyss. It is a race against time, a monumental effort to correct a catastrophic wrong, and a poignant reminder that extinction is not a distant concept but a devastatingly real and imminent finality. High in the remote, windswept plateaus of the Ethiopian Highlands, at altitudes exceeding 3,000 meters, lives Africa's most endangered carnivore, the Ethiopian wolf. With its elegant long legs, slender muzzle, and striking red coat, it looks more like a coyote or a jackal than its larger cousins. This specialized hunter is a creature of the alpine grasslands, uniquely adapted to prey on the abundant high-altitude rodents that scurry through the tussock grass. They live in close-knit family packs, a social structure essential for defending their territories and raising their young in this harsh, unforgiving environment. With fewer than 500 individuals left in the wild, the Ethiopian wolf is teetering on the edge. Its survival is threatened not primarily by poaching, but by the encroachment of agriculture into its fragile mountain habitat. As farmlands expand, the wolves are squeezed into smaller and smaller pockets of wilderness. This proximity to human settlements brings another deadly threat: diseases like rabies and canine distemper, transmitted by domestic dogs. For this rare and beautiful predator, the fight for survival is a battle for space, and a race against the spread of diseases that could wipe out entire packs in a matter of weeks. We now turn to one of the most secretive and unusual mammals on the planet, the pangolin. Covered from head to toe in an armor of overlapping keratin scales, it looks like a creature from a prehistoric time. When threatened, it curls into an almost impenetrable ball, a defense mechanism that is tragically ineffective against its only significant predator: humans. There are 4 species of pangolin found in Africa, and all are under severe threat. They are shy, solitary, and nocturnal, making them incredibly difficult to study in the wild, and their elusiveness only adds to their tragic mystique. The pangolin holds the grim title of the most illegally trafficked mammal in the world. Its scales are erroneously believed to have medicinal properties in some cultures, and its meat is considered a delicacy. This demand has fueled a brutal, industrial-scale poaching crisis that is emptying Africa's forests and savannas of these gentle insectivores. For every pangolin seen, countless others are captured and smuggled away, their silent disappearance a stark indictment of the greed driving the illegal wildlife trade. The rarity of the pangolin is a direct consequence of this relentless persecution, pushing it ever closer to a silent extinction. Deep within the volcanic cloud-wreathed forests of the Virunga Mountains and Uganda's Bwindi impenetrable forest lives a truly magnificent primate, the mountain gorilla. These powerful yet remarkably gentle giants share 98% of our DNA, and to look into their soulful, intelligent eyes is to see a reflection of ourselves. They live in stable family groups led by a dominant silverback who will defend his family to the death. Their days are spent peacefully, foraging for vegetation, playing, and nurturing their young, a picture of profound social harmony. For decades, the mountain gorilla was on a seemingly irreversible path to extinction, its numbers plummeting due to habitat destruction, civil unrest, and poaching. However, this is also a story of hope. Thanks to intensive, collaborative conservation efforts by governments, NGOs, and local communities, their numbers have begun to slowly and steadily increase. Ecotourism, where visitors pay to see the gorillas in a controlled and respectful manner, has provided a vital economic incentive for their protection. Yet, with a total population still only numbering around 1,000 individuals, their future remains incredibly fragile, dependent entirely on our continued vigilance and commitment. Across the savannas and open woodlands of Africa, a highly efficient and social predator is on the run. This is the African wild dog, also known as the painted dog for its unique mottled coat of black, yellow, and white. No two dogs have the same pattern. They are marathon runners, capable of pursuing their prey over vast distances, and they are masters of coordinated hunting. Living in large, cooperative packs, they display incredible social bonds, caring for the sick, elderly, and young with a devotion rarely seen in the animal kingdom. The entire pack works as one to ensure its collective survival. Once widespread across the continent, the African wild dog has seen its population and range shrink dramatically. Today, fewer than 7,000 remain, scattered in fragmented populations. They are persecuted by farmers who see them as a threat to livestock, and they are highly susceptible to diseases spread by domestic dogs. Their need for vast territories to roam and hunt puts them in direct conflict with human expansion. As roads and settlements slice through their habitats, these incredible packs are being isolated and pushed to the very edge of their endurance. Their distinctive coats a fading pattern on the African landscape. In the heart of the Sahara, the largest hot desert in the world, a creature of almost ethereal beauty is making its last stand. The Ibex, with its magnificent, long, spiraling horns, is a true master of desert survival. Its broad hooves help it walk on soft sand, and its pale white coat reflects the relentless desert sun. This remarkable antelope can survive for almost its entire life without drinking freestanding water, obtaining all the moisture it needs from the sparse desert vegetation it consumes. It is a true phantom of the dunes, perfectly adapted to one of the most extreme environments on Earth. Tragically, this incredible adaptation has not been enough to save it from human pressures. Unregulated hunting, disturbances from oil exploration, and political instability in its remote habitat have decimated its population. It is now considered extinct in the wild, across most of its former range. It is believed that fewer than 100 individuals, perhaps as few as a handful, cling to existence in a single isolated population in Niger. The Ibex is a ghost in its own home, its survival now almost entirely dependent on captive breeding programs, and the faint hope of reintroducing it to protected areas, if such safe havens can be secured. The black rhinoceros is a living relic, a powerful link to a prehistoric world. With its two horns and a distinctive prehensile upper lip, which it uses to browse on leaves and twigs, it is an unmistakable icon of the African bush. Unlike its larger cousin, the white rhino, the black rhino is generally more solitary and, has a reputation for being more aggressive, a trait perhaps born from a life of constant vigilance. For millions of years, this magnificent browser shaped its environment, a key architect of the African landscape, but in just a few decades we have brought it to its knees. A catastrophic wave of poaching in the late 20th century wiped out an estimated 98% of the population. All for its horn. Today, thanks to relentless anti-poaching patrols and strategic translocations to new, secure locations, the black rhino is a qualified conservation success story. Its numbers have slowly climbed from an all-time low of around 2,500 to over 6,000. But the threat has not disappeared. Poaching remains a constant, deadly pressure, and every single rhino remains a target, making its recovery a hard-won and still precarious battle. Most people are familiar with the common plain zebra, but its larger, more elegant cousin, the Grevy's zebra, is a far rarer sight, distinguished by its finer, more numerous stripes that do not extend to the belly, and its large rounded ears. The Grevy's is a strikingly beautiful equine. Unlike other zebras, it has a more fluid social structure, where territorial males control access to water, and bonds between mares are temporary. They are adapted to the arid and semi-arid scrublands of northern Kenya and Ethiopia, a harsh environment where resources are, really scarce. In the late 1970s, there were around 15,000 Grevy's zebras. Today, that number has plummeted to fewer than 2,500 mature individuals left in the wild. This dramatic decline is a result of habitat loss, as their grazing lands are converted for agriculture, and competition for water and forage with domestic livestock. They have also historically been hunted for their beautiful skins. Now confined to a fraction of their former range, their survival depends on community-led conservation initiatives that work to reduce conflict with pastoralists and protect the precious water sources and grasslands they need to survive. Along a small, isolated strip of land on the border of Kenya and Somalia lives an antelope so rare it is often called the four-eyed antelope because of its large, prominent preorbital glands. This is the hirola, one of the most critically endangered antelope species on Earth. This slender, graceful grazer is the last living member of its genus, making its potential extinction an even more profound loss of evolutionary history. They are a crucial part of their ecosystem, and their decline signals a deep sickness in their native habitat. The hirola's story is one of catastrophic decline. A combination of disease, severe drought, and habitat degradation has seen their population crash by over 95% in the last 4 decades. With no hirola currently held in captivity, the wild population of perhaps only 300 to 500 individuals is all that stands between this unique species and total extinction. Conservationists are in a desperate struggle to protect their remaining habitat and establish a new, secure population in a predator-proof sanctuary. For the hirola, time is rapidly running out, and without this urgent intervention, it will soon vanish forever. Our final animal is not a mammal but a bird of such a primeval and bizarre appearance that it seems to have stepped directly out of the age of dinosaurs. This is the shoebill, a tall solitary bird found in the vast freshwater swamps of Central and Eastern Africa. Its most defining feature is its enormous clog-shaped bill, which it uses with lethal precision to prey on lungfish and other aquatic life. It is a master of patience, standing motionless for hours, waiting for the perfect moment to strike with a sudden, violent lunge. The shoebill is naturally rare and elusive, its survival intrinsically linked to its specialized swamp habitat. But these vital wetlands are disappearing at an alarming rate, being drained for agriculture, diverted for irrigation, and disturbed by human settlement and livestock. With an estimated population of only 3,300 to 5,300 mature individuals remaining and declining, this unique bird is facing a silent crisis. The loss of the shoebill would not just be the loss of a species, but the loss of an entire, unique branch of the avian evolutionary tree, a solitary sentinel of the swamp silenced forever by the draining of its world. We have journeyed across Africa and witnessed 10 stories of incredible fragility and resilience. From the last 2 northern white rhinos to the elusive shoebill, each of these creatures enriches our world in ways we are only just beginning to understand. Their struggle for survival is not a distant problem. It is a direct reflection of our own impact on the planet. The threats they face, habitat loss, poaching, and climate change, are challenges of our own creation. But just as we are the cause of this crisis, we can also be the architects of the solution. Their fate is inextricably linked to our actions. The dedicated work of conservationists, rangers, and local communities on the ground provides a powerful beacon of hope. They are the frontline defenders in this critical battle, but they cannot win it alone. They need our support. You can make a difference by supporting reputable wildlife conservation organizations, making conscious consumer choices, and spreading awareness about the plight of these animals. Every contribution, no matter how small, adds to a collective voice demanding change and action. We must transform our awareness into a global commitment to protect the natural world. The wild places of our planet and the magnificent creatures that inhabit them are not just a luxury. They are essential to the health and balance of our world. They are a shared inheritance that we must safeguard for the generations that will follow us. Let us not be the generation that stood by and watched as these wonders disappeared. Together, we can help protect these incredible species for future generations. The time to act is now, before their stories become mere footnotes in the history books of a world made poorer by their absence.